Good morning and welcome into Driving the Line, the number one sports betting show in all the land. And it's not close. I'm going to be stepping in for Coach the rest of the week. I am Daniel Greer. Coach is on assignment out of the Charles Schwab. He's down in beautiful Fort Worth, Texas. But we have a lot that we're going to get into today. But before we get into the show completely, let's take a look back at how the guys did yesterday. I wasn't on the show, so it wasn't a banger. But we look here at AB going 2-0 minus the Illinois. So that ECU money line might be a little different. But I promise you today, I will not play any Charles's plays. So we're going to sweep the board. That's all I can contribute is I am not telling Charles. That means he's going to win. But today on the show, we have guys that are just chomping at the bits to get in here. But before we get there, let's go and say hi to our 5-tool player. And you're going to see something a little different with our guy AB today. Yo.
What up?
What's up, man?
Hey, what's up, man? You doing all right?
Doing good, man. We love the setup out of the Sonesta Select, right? So we're back in the homeland.
Yep, no more Sonesta Select, man. And you know what's funny? And first off, man, good morning, buddy, and good to see you. Yeah, and Coach had to emergency fly out to get out to the Schwab, so we certainly understand it. Oh, the Schwab. You know what? That means it's going to be good.
Right.
But, yeah, man, good to see you. Good to see the crew. And for Chuck, it's always funny. Anybody – and what I love about our crew is that there are so many that do the same thing, right? Like you guys understand it that you could do a betting show every day, and you could hit over and over and over. I mean, just perfect day, perfect day, perfect day. And you have one day, right, that's bad – and you feel it inside to where everybody else is like, look, man, we get it. Like, you've cashed a ton for us. But internally, you're feeling it. You're like, oh, hell no. No. We're going hard in the paint today. So, yeah, there you go.
I expect a bounce back from Charles. But I got to ask you a question, AB. I know this is going to be internally hurting you. But the Florida Gators, I thought they were banned.
Dude, you know what? I took a shot, and it was on me. So, apologies, everybody. And well, we're not going to fully lay off totals because they're going to get better through the week as we, burn pitchers and burn bullpens. But my God, man, I mean, I'm only giving them credit for one run. Yes, they got to 3. They hit a bomb in the 9th with 2 outs. Didn't matter. Vanderbilt did their job. Yeah. All right. Florida, yeah. That one's on me. And then last night, Texas Tech, dude, we had the over of 10, okay, that we did on Twitter, right? And it's 4-4. Through the whole game. 6-4. And we were lucky to get that in the top of the 9th. It's crazy, dude.
Hey, and then I think even somebody robbed a home run in that game, which is crazy on itself to do that, but that would have cashed easily.
Oh, yeah. And ECU, look, they say it in the chat, 100%. Tony says it, man. Like, ECU is losing the whole game, 12 runs in the 8th.
Yeah. It's
college
crazy.
Baseball's crazy, dude.
Yeah, it is. All right, so good morning, crew. Let's go ahead and look at our Howie Schwab crew play of the day.
Here we go. NBA, all right? 1 game, 4 options. Polls in the chat. Here's what we're going with. You going Mavs plus 4.5, Timberwolves minus 4.5. You going with the over 206.5 or the under 206.5. Polls in the chat. Vote now, and we'll update as we normally do at the end of the show. And yeah, Ranger Suarez, side note, is on fire, man.
Yeah, he is. I love Ranger Suarez. He's been very good, especially the last 2 years. He's always good against the Braves, which makes me hurt inside. But all right, so as you get in here, do us a favor, go ahead and hit the poll. Let us know what you're thinking, but hit the like button as well as you get in here. But I'm not going to keep our guys, Raphael and Charles, waiting any longer. Let's go ahead and get into the picks. As Dan Clark says, no coach and all DG. I'm loving this. I'm loving it. Charles, good morning. Are you loving this?
I wouldn't say loving it. It'll do. Morning, DG. Morning, crew. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, love you, Coach.
All right. Man, and Mr. Switzerland himself, he was on the golf show yesterday with Coach, just killing it. But he was sucking up to Coach the entire time. Raphael, good morning.
Yeah, let me wipe that nose off. So like, hey, I had a blast doing the golf show. Did so much research for the golf show on that one, but it was fun to do that. Brought me back when I was a head odds maker to do so much deep research into a subject. So and a lot of fun. But thanks for everyone for watching. DG was in the chat, so it was fun. It was fun. I woke up today, so I'm winning already.
Yeah,
Dude, you
absolutely.
did a good job. DJ, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No.
You did, Rafael, you did a good job, man. I went back and watched it last night when I got home. You did a great job, man.
Thanks,
It's
AB.
it's crazy. Like, I try to pride myself on trying to know a little bit of everything, but like Raphael literally is on a different level than I will ever be, just because you're talking about numbers and stats and actually able to spit them out. I know a lot of research goes in, so this isn't like, hey, he wakes up and gets out of bed and is this smart. So it is a lot of hard work. But Raphael, hats off to you, because listen, golf is hard, very, very hard. But let's go ahead and get into our plays today, and somebody who has been cashing, and then I tailed every single play of yours, Charles. I apologize, but let's go ahead and get into your play today.
Yeah, we're going to go to the Europa League. We have Atalanta and Bayer Leverkusen. The first of 3 UEFA finals take place today in Dublin, with 2 teams attempting to collect their first ever European titles. Atalanta, they arrive in Ireland looking to shock the world. The Italians have become regulars in Europe since 2018. And this season, the Bergamo club has been especially efficient on the road, where they have failed to lose while averaging 2.2 team goals. Leverkusen, they begin the match day as favorites to lift the trophy and extend their 51-match unbeaten streak. But the Bundesliga champs have had their scares on the road, having to rely on goals for draws and averaging 1.7 team goals per result. Every breakdown I've completed continued to show both teams scoring at least a goal apiece, with each club scoring in 100% of their away fixtures in this tournament. So I'm trusting my projections and backing both teams to score, which odds are courtesy of BetMGM. At worst, I see 1-1. You can even look at that 1-1 exact score plus 600, or 2-1 either way. But I definitely see both teams getting on the board at least one apiece in this Europa League final.
Wow. Listen, I was just sitting there thinking, like, one, I am not smart because I don't sound like you, but when you're giving your take, it's almost like you're reading out of a book. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It's like you're reading a chapter, like, and I'm not a reader, but it sounds so good that
It's eloquent.
Yes. When you're giving your takes, I'm like, all right, dude, I don't need to go after you. I'm going to, but I don't need to go after you.
DG, like that's what like I smile about so much, the fact that he's country like me, right? Like the voice, like it's country, but it's so incredibly eloquent.
Right.
Like it's well done. He's unlike anybody else. It makes me smile, man.
Charles, you're great. I'm not going to be able to follow that up at all, but I trust and I love both teams to score. That's my favorite bet in soccer, but I'm not playing it. I promised I would not play it today. But 2 that I am playing is going to be in the NBA, and that's going to go with our first guy is Derek Lively, over 7.5 rebounds and assists at plus 114. You might not be able to find this. I see that they took it off the board for a little bit. It might be back as we get closer to the game. But I also like his over 6.5 rebounds. But the reason I love it more is because of the assist. He's had at least 1 assist in the last 8 games. And so I look at a guy who's going to go against, their bigs and their twin towers and Cat and Gobert. I see a guy at Derek Lively gives a lot of length, but also will be a guy that'll be around the rim to get those rebounds, but also that 1 assist, maybe 2, because they're trying to maybe dump it off to him for a kick out to a 3. I like Derek Lively over 7.5 rebounds and assists at plus money. But then the other guy I'm going to go with, and I'm not going to go into this too much, but it's because we have a little bit of educate and entertain on this guy, but Kyrie Irving over 21.5 points. The reason I love him is because I think that Luka is going to get Jaden McDaniels. I also think he's going to get doubled a little bit more in this game. I think you're going to kick out to Kyrie. Kyrie's going to be able to create, but also he has to be a guy who scores. He scored 30-plus points in the 3 matchups against them. And so I expect him to continue on to keep scoring. And I like Kyrie in the game today. I usually don't, because of he just hasn't been like the guy who wants to shoot the most. But I think against this Minnesota team with the Twin Towers, I think he has to. AB, are you feeling a little Kyrie today?
I'll feel a little Kyrie. I'm feeling more Luka, but I feel Kyrie. That's a very attainable number right there because I feel that Luka is going to get a lot of attention, boy.
Yeah.
A lot of it.
And that's the thing is with Luka getting all the attention, I think that you have to give Kyrie some. And I think that Kyrie will be a guy who has to look to score instead of kicking it out so much. But let's go ahead and kick it over to our other guy who is on this game as well. Raphael, what you got?
I want to jump back a little bit on that Kyrie. When the playoffs first started, his total points was around 23, 24. Right. So they've been going downwards, because you're correct. I just don't know where Kyrie has been. Granted, they're here. They're in the Western Conference Finals, but it's not because of his play on the offensive side. He has been playing much better defense that no one's giving him credit for. But I'm torn on that one. I agree with AB with Luka on that one, but that's a different story. I'm going with the crafty lefty today in this game. Give me Mike Conley over 11.5 points. His last 10 games, he's averaging 14. I know his last game, he only had 10 points, but they really didn't need his offense. I think we're going to see Mike Conley getting his veteran leadership and his voice out on the court because everyone respects him on the court. I like 11.5 points over. Give me the minus 105 of Mike Conley.
Yeah, I like Mike Conley. Does anything worry you about that, Raphael, with him having that I guess that calf sprain or whatever? We had him here in Memphis for a long time, and he always has had issues with that. I guess that calf, but also maybe it scares you a little bit more because obviously the calf and the Achilles. But anything scary you about him playing if he does play about getting to that number?
I think he does play this one, but I just think that they're going to concentrate so much on Ant-Man and so much on the bigs that he might be open for that corner three or that short jump shot on there because they're going to be so focused on the Ant-Man and not wanting to get beat by Cat. Because Cat had a really good game in his last game. He might be a little bit playing a little bit of basketball too. So I think Conley's going to get some free points, I would say.
I want to get into more of that. We're going to get to educate and entertain, but I want to get into a little bit more of the matchups because I'm curious who guards who, because we discussed that on my Grizzlies show last night, discussing a little bit of the playoffs. I'm not sure exactly who's going to end up guarding who. So that's going to be fun to watch. Another team that's been fun to watch, Raphael, has been the Yankees, and you're playing them right here. What you got?
I don't know if you're a Yankee fan. It's a fun team to watch. They've dropped back-to-back games. I think they rebound today on this one. The last 3 times they played Seattle, or Nestor's played Seattle, they're gone 3-0. They've been outscored 21-9 on that one. So I'm going to say that Nestor controls it and puts that on the board. I think the Yankees score quickly on this one. That's why I took the first 5 at minus 1.5, plus 160. I love that plus money. I think the Yankees do not want to fall again on this when they lost yesterday. They lost back, and it's probably because of bullpen, but I think the Yankees jump out quickly. That's why I took the first 5 minus 1.5 plus 160.
Yeah, listen, I have always been big. I'm not a Yankees fan, but I've been big on the Yankees this season because they know how to score, and that's the biggest thing with me. Give me a little bit of offense because then I can catch my player props. I stay away from the games for the most part, but the player props are all me. But let's stay in baseball. And listen, the chat's going wild. Thank you all for hanging out, but the chat's been going wild for college baseball. So we're going to get out of your way, AB. Let's go.
No, everybody come on in, man. All right, enough room for everybody. All right, so look, we are in day 2 of conference tournaments. What you want to pay attention to are teams that are playing for a second straight day and teams that are playing for their first day. You're going to notice that here and pay attention as we go because you're going to have teams playing for a third day, second day, et cetera, et cetera. So first off, we're going to take Arkansas money line, Wake Forest money line, plus 120. Both of these teams are going to get it started for the first time this week. Next, Texas A&M money line, Illinois money line, plus 125. All right, A&M get it started first time this week. Illinois should have been the second day. However, it was postponed yesterday against Penn State, so they are going to run it today. Last one, Tennessee money line, Kentucky money line, plus 195. All right, now we've said watch out for teams like Tennessee, Kentucky. These are literally the number 1 and number 2 national seeds that will be in the regionals, the NCAA tournament, going all the way to the College World Series. So I understand that they don't necessarily, I'm not going to say care, but it just, there's not a whole lot to play for. That being said, these two teams can mash when there's nothing really on the line. That's the dangerous part with these teams, and especially playing teams that they know very well. Tennessee's playing Vanderbilt, Vanderbilt being one of the first 4 teams out. Think of the NCAA baseball tournament very similar to the college basketball tournament. 64 teams going. You'll then cut down to 16 and then cut down to the final 8. So I say all that to say this. I know we don't have it on the screen, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you. We're rolling LSU, Kentucky over 10.5. You'll see it on your books right now. Totals are just starting to come out. So we're going to play Kentucky money line, but we're also going to play the over 10.5 on the side. We're also going to play the over of Tennessee and Vanderbilt. We don't have that total yet. My guess is 11.5 to 12.5, maybe even 13.5. Yeah, like if it's something crazy, 14.5, 15.5, like we're not doing that. Just keep an eye on that number, but it should be 12.5 where we come in. So we're going to play the Tennessee Vanderbilt over as well. And again, the reason being is that these teams just played a week and a half ago, and Tennessee is coming in light. Like there's no concern, no worry. And when you're a baseball team at the plate and you have no stress, you tend to swing and have fun up there with your buddies doing it, right? So, yeah, we're going to play the over. Kentucky, LSU, 10.5. Tennessee, Vanderbilt should be about 12.5.
Wow. Listen, you're not going to get that anywhere else. Those 3 plays, all plus money and a plus 195 with a Tennessee team that I think is much better than Vandy. I don't even know who Kentucky's playing, but Kentucky has been playing well.
LSU.
Oh, they're playing LSU? Whew. Sheesh. Man, listen, you got
LSU and Vanderbilt, they need to win. Like
yes.
they need to get wins. So you're going to get them aggressive at the plate, but you're going to get on the other side teams that are carefree and relaxed and ready to go up and just have fun. Raphael, sorry, I cut you off, man.
Oh, no, I just want to jump on DG. Your Derek Lively bet, the number we posted up over at Caesars and BetMGM, it's over 6.5 rebounds and assists, and you're still getting plus money, plus 105.
Wow. All right, go play it. I will be. As soon as we get a break, I'm going to be pushing buttons on my phone, see if I can make it work. I want to bring up one thing, and there's a comment from K2X. It's over on Twitter, but thank you for joining us. But loves Arkansas and Wake money line. Like that's just beautiful. But if you're over on Twitter, join us on YouTube. You can comment and obviously see a little bit more of the comments. I know sometimes if you're on social media on Twitter that you can't see everybody's comments. And so you might see that there's not as many people there as you think. But if you look over on YouTube, I promise you the comment section, you can see everybody commenting and you can kind of join. And so come over here and be a crew member. What's up, AB?
Yeah, so I didn't mean to interrupt you, but like going off what you're saying, it is incredibly important. And anybody that is watching this live, like if you're wanting to bet college baseball, you need to be live on the show as we go because LSU Kentucky starts in, I think, 15, 20 minutes.
Wow.
Right? Like it's vital. Like I'm not going to be that guy that's like, oh, hey, you got to be live. Like smash the hell out of that. Like I'm not going to be that YouTube crazy person. But for this week, like, it's going to be important and moving forward because, you're going to have regionals, you're going to have super regionals and all that. Like you're going to have a lot of games across the country. They're going to start early. And I have to give another shout out really quick that, you know what? Like it's been a fight between us and the books, this year, right? However, you have to give credit where it's due. The books are getting they're getting the money lines out the night before, right? It came out about 1 a.m. last night, which is good. Like I'm saying respect. Like it's hard. And Raphael's talked about it. Like it's a sport that's not bet very much. And if the books got rid of it, they wouldn't really care because it's not an NBA. Like it's not one of the major sports. So respect to the books and bookmakers. Like they're doing a great job, man. Shout out to them.
Yeah.
I almost texted you last night when those numbers came out, but I'm like, oh, he's probably sleeping.
Sleeping?
No, like I almost was. Like, no, it shout out to them because it's a lot to keep up with, man. And we gotta give them praise for sure.
All right, AB, everybody's worried about your or not worried, but wondering about your kitchen back there. One, it looks good. Everybody's commenting on it. But two, Liddy's asking, how much cooking does AB do?
Yeah, does a corned beef sandwich count? I can make a hell of a sandwich, boy.
All right, that's all we got here. We'll make sure we kind of follow up on this here in a few minutes, but we're going to get into more of the NBA stuff here and educate and entertain. All right, here we have more kazoo, but we also have a little bit of the NBA, kind of the point totals, and we're going to bounce around a little bit and kind of give you our insights on it and kind of share a little bit of what we're thinking. But Charles, let's start with you first, and we're going to look at. I think the first game is the Mavericks team totals here, but we have Luka at 28.5, Kyrie at 20.5. I believe on those that number right there at 20.5. I think it's like minus 150, 160. So that is a high juice number, but also PJ Washington at 12.5. Anything that you like right there, Charles?
Yeah, I'll grab PJ Washington 12.5. I know he's been high volume and scoring plenty of points in that last series. I don't see that changing. Plus, I think we see points in this game tonight as well. So lowest on the board, PJ Washington 12.5 definitely sticks out to me.
I figured you'd go with the value play there. Raphael, what you got?
Same thing. PJ Washington 12.5 for games 3 and 4 against the Clippers. His points was 10.5. So that just shows you right there his minutes. He's getting about 5 to 10 more extra minutes a game because of his play. I like PJ Washington 12.5. Really thought the computer was probably going to post maybe 13.5 around there, maybe a little under money on that one. But 12.5, I think, is a nice number. It's a good steal.
Yeah, against the Minnesota Timberwolves, you're going to see that corner three kind of be left open. That's where they like to allow the three ball to come from instead of the top. They like to have it on the sides because you're either going to shoot that or you're going to come to the front of the rim. If you come to the front of the rim, you're going to have Gobert or Cat there. And so that is a great look. PJ Washington could go off for 15 plus. AB, what you got?
I have an answer and a question. I'm going to start with the question, and Raphael, sit and think on it. Not that you need time to think on it, but just so you know, I'm not just throwing something random at you. When you see the next slide, all right, for the Timberwolves, the point totals are exactly the same for their big three, 28.5, 20.5, and 12.5. I was going to ask Raphael, is that like, just a random coincidence, or do the books kind of have an idea of star player A, B, C? But I'll let you sit on that for 1 second. I'm going to go Kyrie Irving here over 20.5 again. Just kind of playing the mid here, right? I think that Kyrie does have a big game because he's going to need to have a big game. Luka's going to get a lot of attention. And not that Luka can't blast 28.5, but man, he's just been going so hard over and over and over. I don't hate that PJ Washington play at all, but yeah, I'm going to go Kyrie 20.5 on that one.
Raphael, do you have an answer for the AB?
Well, yeah, we use I hate to use the word formula, but we have a section called A, B, and C, especially when back in the day when we did our player props ourselves, not the computer. So we would have, leading scorer, second leading scorer, because back in the day we just did points, barely did rebounds and stuff like that because, again, it was manually doing it. So, yeah, we do have something where A, B, and C when it comes to leading scores. What the computer does right now, it's probably the same. I don't know about their algorithm. I'm not involved in all that. I'm setting all that up. But I would be shocked if they didn't. But I remember back in the day when I was at Caesars and BetMGM, we had, who's a leading scorer A, who's a leading scorer B, and we had a base number, and then you just dive in what they did the last 10 games, stuff like that, comparison. So, yes on the answer to that.
All right, I got a question from the chat real quick from Pat's asking, DK doesn't have, so DraftKings doesn't have that lively line that I gave out. And Raphael, you commented on it. Do you know where you might have saw that at?
Caesars and FanDuel, I had it.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, no, FanDuel has not had it at all. And so them having it just, finally means that they're opening up those lines. They're a lot of times they're scared about the ancillary pieces on a team, the role players, especially the bench guys. So you don't see those right away. I think they came out early on DraftKings, and then they obviously removed them, and now they're kind of cycling back through. So pay attention to that. But I'll definitely be playing that 6.5. But I am on the Kyrie train as well, and I gave that as an official pick at 21.5 just because the juice is too much on 20.5. I think he has a big game. I even looked at possibly sprinkling 30 points at plus 490, and so I'm going to look at it. Might sprinkle it. Maybe I'll be given a free bet somewhere and I'll throw it in there. But let's go ahead and go over to the Timberwolves. AB kind of hit on it a little bit earlier at looking at some of these guys. But Anthony Edwards, 28.5, Cat, 20.5, and Rudy Gobert, 12.5. Charles, let's go with your guy. Who are you picking here?
I'm going to roll with Cat 20.5. I think he's going to have an advantage down low. So and I'm sure they're going to try to exploit that advantage as well. So give me Cat to get at least 21 points.
All right, Raphael.
I love the coach's favorite player right now in the playoffs, Rudy Gobert, at the 12.5. I have a little bit role reverse. I think he may have a better game than Cat because Cat's not healthy. We've seen him limping around his knees and stuff like this. I don't know how healthy he's going to be and his foul trouble. It seems like he's always in foul trouble. So I'm going to take Rudy over 12.5. And I don't want to say why unless you're a Clue exclusive because you'll know why in probably in the next hour. But I'm going to take Rudy at 12.5.
Teasing the bag, as they say.
Learn from Charles. Thanks, Charles.
That wasn't Charles. All right, look. All right. So here's where I'm at with this. And Raphael, you just touched on it. I worry about Rudy Gobert and foul trouble. Maybe not games 1 and 2, but when it goes back to Dallas, keep an eye on that. Like, it's going to be him or Cat. And it worries me. I don't know if it's a concern tonight, but I think that it's going to be a concern with both of those guys at some point because Luka is going to get calls, but it might not be in game 1. That being said, I'm going to go Anthony Edwards, 28.5. I think that our man is just on absolute fire in every way possible. And I think that now, like, he's feeling that role of I'm him. I'm the man. Like, I think that he is embracing it and embracing it in a good way. I don't mean like, a jerk, a bad team. Like, no, I don't mean any of that. Like, I think that he's ready to take this thing over and he can really see a title in front of him. So I'm going to roll with Anthony Edwards here.
Yeah, listen, I love Ant. 28.5 is just so much.
A lot.
Especially in a playoff game where defense locks down. And even the big purr, as they call him, Karl Anthony Towns. I like him. He's so streaky. He is a live better. Like, he's a live bet for me that if I start seeing him, hit some down, I really like to go with him for sure. But I'm going to go with my guy, Gobert, Rudy Gobert. I think that he has potential to have some putbacks, but with all the attention going to be on Ant with maybe some kind of rim runs with Karl Anthony Towns, but also you might have some pick and roll with, Gobert and Mike Conley. I think there could be some easy dump offs because they're not big with Dallas. And so I think there could be a potential to him have an easy 12-12 game, maybe a 15-15 game for Gobert. I really think him being big and having the size on this team, I really think it's going to help him. And the foul trouble does worry me, but I'm not going to be too worried about it today. But I want to
here's a question for you real quick. Like, and I mean this for anybody. Yes, both of these teams just got finished playing game 7s. However, those 2 game 7s were not identical, right? Right. Dallas could come in and this thing could get out of hand quickly and they shut it down. Like, I'm not saying it happens, and I'm not saying they're a team that quit. Like, I'm not using that word whatsoever. Just with what we've seen in the NBA playoffs, like, if this thing gets out of hand early, I don't think that it comes back. I think that Dallas is just like, this wasn't our night. You know what I mean? Like, this wasn't our night. So, I'm concerned about that. Like, if you're betting Mavs props, that worry is out there.
Okay. I like it. Listen, that's why everybody tunes into the show to kind of find out a little bit and kind of just talk through a lot of the games in general. And so we try to educate you, as we say, and mainly it's more Raphael, AB, and Charles than me, but I do my best. But if you missed it, we're going to go ahead and give you a little bit of 15 seconds or less on the plays that you might have missed, but you might have missed some of those cookies in there that AB gave out early in the show. But let's go ahead and get into the whip around. All right, you know that Charles was there because Coach is off, and I'm not mean like that guy, but this has been Charles's kind of lane right here with the home runs. So, Charles, we're going to let you start off here. The Wednesday home run odds. Any guy that you like here?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and grab the chalk, Kyle Schwarber plus 200. I was hoping I would see either a Philly or Ranger on the board. So give me Schwarber plus 200 to grab us a home run today.
All right, Raphael?
I love me some Judge money at 2-1 because I have the Yankees first 5 innings run line. So I need the Judge to throw one up pretty much early and give me some early runs. I'll take 2-1 on Aaron Judge.
Like it. I'm always on Judge, but what you got, AB?
So first off, what about our man Tuck hitting 2 bombs yesterday?
2 bombs.
Crushing it, right? Yeah, that's what I get for not betting him. He told me, like, come on, bro. What are you doing? I'm going Byron Buxton. Wins plus 350. I think he has a big game today.
I like Gunnar Henderson. Can I just say I get both games because they ended a little early yesterday, so they're going to play a few more innings. So do I get an extra at bat there with my plus 300?
So what inning did that game in? It was moved to today. I know it's 1-1, right?
I thought it might have been the 8th.
Eighth
right?
inning.
8th inning.
Okay, I thought so. Big Cheesy's on Pete Alonso. That dude is due for sure. But I love all these guys. I was going to go with Byron Buxton for sure, but I kind of strayed away, especially after you went with him, AB. But I do like him as well. Rafael, what you got?
I can guarantee you in that game, if someone hits a home run and you had a home run for yesterday, I can guarantee you the books would pay that out because it says on their subtitle Wednesday home run on most of them. And I bet you if you, I don't want to say complain, but say, hey, you send them a quick email. Hey, I had so-and-so home run. They played the rest of the game today. He hit a home run today. I would probably bet my whatever I have in my wallet that the wife hasn't taken yet that they would pay that ticket out.
Wow. I like it. Hey, that's good information for sure. All right, let's go ahead and give you the plays real quick. One more time. We're going to go ahead and start with Charles here. Give us your soccer play.
Yeah, Europa League final, Atalanta, Bayer Leverkusen will grab the both teams to score.
All right, we already have a leadoff bomb for LSU, John says, which is crazy. All right, so AB, you're already giving out.
Go Tigers. Yeah. All right. So, LSU, Kentucky, over 10.5. Let's go, boy. All right. Arkansas money line, Wake Forest money line, plus 120. Texas A&M money line, Illinois money line, plus 125. Tennessee money line, Kentucky money line, plus 195. As mentioned, Kentucky, LSU over 10.5. And then Tennessee, Vanderbilt when we get that total. And Cortez, interesting here. My Illinois college ticket is still open at ESPN. The game was postponed, moved from yesterday to today. So check your books, check your, because it might be different for each one. And Rafael, I don't know if you have anything to add on that, just, being the guy there for, so long. But you've seen this more than the rest of us.
Yeah, each book's different. That's why I tell people read the book rules because each book is different. They should roll that over since it was postponed, but I would definitely make sure to check your book.
Cool.
Yeah, always pay attention to the fine details. I'm going to go ahead and give mine real quick. Derek Lively over 7.5 rebounds and assists, plus 114. Somebody shared that already on FanDuel. You can get it at plus money at over 6.5 rebounds and assists. I would go ahead and grab that now. And then I'm also on Kyrie Irving over 21.5 points. We've already went into that for plenty. I just think that he has to show up today. All right, Rafael, go ahead and back cleanup for us.
Someone has Lively on ESPN Bet. That's also available to DG. But Michael Conley over 11.5 points, minus 105 for the crafty lefty. Hopefully he plays. He should play. This is at home. If this was a road game, I think he doesn't play. I think Conley does play some easy buckets. And then Yankees, first 5. Give me the run line, plus 160. Let's parlay maybe with Aaron Judge hitting a home run in the first 5. What would those odds be? But give me the Yankees, first 5, minus 1.5, plus 160.
All right, make sure you cash all day. But I do have a question, and I wanted to hit this earlier and educate and entertain. But I'm curious of the matchups in this game tonight on who guards who. We talked through it on my show last night, and I think it's going to be Jaden McDaniels on Luka. But could they maybe switch that to be an Ant on Luka? But then who guards Kyrie and who guards Mike Conley? I think that's the biggest thing. Rafael, do you have any thoughts on that? Because I think those are the two guys that you look at as, Jaden McDaniels is their best defender in Minnesota. He's definitely going to guard Luka, especially to start the game.
Well, we saw it last night in game 1. I mean, we saw who's guarding who first in the first quarter, and by his third quarter, it was all over the place. So right. I think this is game 1. Right now, you're trying. This is a 7-game series. You're not advancing to the NBA Finals in game 1. So I think you try to mix and match right now. I think if you're Dallas, You want to see how you're going to guard the big men. You don't want the rookie Texas center that comes off the bench in foul trouble because then it shortens up your bench. I think you just have to play around on game one and see how things work. Because we saw yesterday, Boston Celtics defense did not work right off the get, and they're changing around third and fourth quarter. So I would not be shocked if we see Celtics maybe change their starting five up a little bit for what we saw in the first half yesterday. Wow. So we could probably see something similar to that tonight.
Charles, last thing. Do you think the Pacers and the Celtics, how big is that game two for the Pacers? Because they just let that first one get away last night. You're talking about a game that like literally is going to be big, because if Indiana goes down 0-2 going back home, it's okay, but you're going up against a team that's much better, and they're better on the road than they are at home. Charles, I was going to you on that.
Normally we see a blowout and the other team covers, so Pacers went ahead and covered. So yeah, I'm cutting in and out. My apologies.
I figured, because
we normally see a blowout and a team cover.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm delayed over here, so yeah.
Charles got that coach.
I'll pass on that one. I'm coming in and out.
Are you at Coach's house?
It's tricking out on me here. I don't know what's going on.
Hey, you know what? Hey, I'll tell you this, man. Whoever handles your Wi-Fi, they didn't understand, dude. You're paying people's bills out here. They need to get you set up, son.
Yeah. Make sure you hit all the plays today, and make sure you follow our guys on the X because there's going to be plays coming out today. And obviously, as we lead up into the weekend, I will be here hosting the show because Coach is off calling the Charles Schwab. But guys, thank you so much. Let's go ahead and get with AB, and let's look at the closing bell. Big Cheesy says Charles Delay reminds me of my local news. Like, it's spot on.
It cracks me up, man. Like, I hate it for him because it's very annoying. Like, we've all dealt with it. It stinks. But the local news aspect, 100%. Yeah.
It's great. All right, let's go ahead and look, see what the crew picked for today.
So the crew's going with the Mavericks plus 4.5, but it's tight. All right. Mavericks plus 4.5 was 36%. Timberwolves minus 4.5 was 35%. So it's so tight right there. But the Mavericks do get the nod. And last thing I'll say is, like, joking about that, if anybody used to watch SEC football, like, and I'm talking about like in the 90s, okay, like late 90s, it wasn't all this like glitz and glam of like when ESPN bought in, right? Like you had, the Jefferson Pilot morning game, okay, at like 11:15. Yep. Every single person on that broadcast was named Dave Neal, Dave Rowe, Dave Baker. And the person who was on the field was like, all right, yep, back to you, Dave. All right. Like, they didn't know which one. It cracked me up, dude. It made me laugh as soon as he said that, man.
I used to hate those 11:15 starts for college football. It just all the bad teams played then. You had to wait till
it was always Mississippi State, Vanderbilt.
Yes. Yeah, it was terrible. But AB, obviously you're going to be giving out plays all day because of college baseball. And so where can people find those plays throughout today?
Yeah, absolutely, man. So it'll all be Twitter, our Twitter community. Like, I'll make sure you guys all get it. Now, Mark in the chat had asked a good question. Are we going to have a show? And I've tried the last 2 nights. It's just so difficult because I could put together a show today and every single team like that we look at could be finished tomorrow and done, right? So I don't want to waste your time. So I'll tell you this. What I'm going to do is that, like I said, if you're new to betting college baseball or just want a little refresher, right, as we all do, the college baseball postseason is almost identical to college basketball, okay? Selection Monday is when we're going to get the 64 teams, all right? And you get what it is you're going to have regionals, super regionals, and the College World Series. So regionals will be one team hosts at home, and there's 3 other teams. So it's like a pod, a 4-team pod, and you do it by national seeds, 1 through 16, and each one of them will host. And it's set like brackets, right? Just like brackets, to where whoever wins this regional and this regional, those 2 teams will play each other in the super regional the next weekend. Just those 2 teams, best 2 out of 3. Go through all that. So it goes from 64 teams to 16 and then the top 8, the Elite 8, are in the College World Series. So I'm going to break down the projected 64, and we'll put out the first 4 in, the first 4 out, so that you know who needs to have a big conference week, because these games matter. And then you'll see teams, Kentucky, Tennessee, Texas A&M, teams that might win a game, and then they're like, all right, we're just throwing freshmen, like, who cares? You know what I mean? Because they've already done the job. So I'll get all that out for you today. So we won't have a show, but I promise the information will be a whole lot better.
It's key to have the information, because you're talking about, like, games that matter that might not matter as much, but those super regionals are crazy. And then you obviously have the winners of those super regionals having to go play against each other to see who gets in the College World Series. And so it keeps breaking down, and just it's important on who's the pitcher, who's throwing that day, because the pitchers matter. But then obviously you have bullpens come in, and then who's hot. AB, dude, you're doing the Lord's work, because college baseball is so hard to actually do and follow, because there's no way you can follow it very easily, I promise.
It's difficult, and look, let me also give a shout out and a plug, d1baseball.com. All right. They're very helpful. We use them. We plug them every time, that we use their website, their information. Follow them. They're a phenomenal team. On Twitter, go to their website, all of that. Like, must make sure that we plug them, because they do a great job. We lean on them a lot. So shout out to d1baseball.com.
All right. Great show, AB. We're going to obviously follow you all throughout the day, but let's go ahead and close up shop. Today has been awesome. I appreciate all the comments in there. If you saw on my social media post of me winning my old man basketball league, I asked my mother, who is there supporting me, to take a picture of me, my trophy, just kind of have a good time through social media, through, honestly, driving the line community. But today has been awesome. We're going to be here throughout the rest of the week, Monday through Friday, but also the weekends. Make sure you're tuning in, because AB drops some awesome videos on the weekends, especially surrounding around college baseball. But that's all we got today. For Charles from the Dirty, and our true professional, Mr. Switzerland himself, Raphael, to AB, I am Daniel Greer, subbing in for Coach this week. He is out to Charles Schwab. But as he always makes sure it's be nice to those around you, because you never really know what one little thing you could say could change somebody's life. Let's all have a great day. We'll see you at the pay window.